Hello, everyone. We're here with Nikolas Chatziavraam, CEO of Zygos Practice Management Software. And we're going to talk about a lot of things about the software, about the legal sector, about the accounting sectors. But to start with, welcome and give us a little introduction about you and about Zygos.
Thank you. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. So, very briefly about the company and about what we do. So, the company was founded back in 1996. So, we're 30 years old. We had our birthday last month. And we specialize in software for the professional services industry. So, we serve lawyers, accountants, trust and corporate service providers, manage what we call their day-to-day. So everything from onboarding their clients, managing the risks around them, going through the know your client procedures, and then project management, tasks, workflows, timesheets, all this admin work that the professional services sector does on a daily basis. So we capture everything and we act as a system of record for these companies, allowing them to remove the admin burden of the day-to-day. At the moment, we serve a little bit less than 400 clients all over the world. The majority of them is in Cyprus, of course, but we have clients in other jurisdictions as well, service-heavy jurisdictions, as we call them. So yeah, this is briefly the story of the company.
Excellent. What are some unique pain points in the legal accounting sectors that your software is solving? I know you touched a little bit about the operational aspect
Yep.
and the workflows. You make it easier for them, but are there anything that's unique to these sectors?
Yeah. In economies like Cyprus, which are very service heavy, let's say, so we export a lot of services. There is a certain way of doing business for law firms, for accountants, for CSPs. So there is the aspect of regulation as well, which is increasing and is becoming a huge burden. And then there is the aspect of managing your day to day. So what's unique about what we have done is that we have incorporated several features that you can find scattered in other systems, and we have created an umbrella system, let's say, a one-stop shop that allows the firms to manage the whole workflow from end to end, with some added layers of RegTech, which are very beneficial for the firms.
And you work with large firms in Cyprus and internationally, but you also work with smaller offices.
Yep.
Do you see any differences between the needs of smaller firms or larger firms when using Zygos software?
Yes. So, because our system works in the cloud, is a SaaS-based software, it's very beneficial for smaller firms as well to be onboarded, since they only have a monthly recurring fee, right? So we serve anything from solos to large enterprises and the government as well. The needs are very different as you climb up the ladder, the corporate numbers. Let's say smaller firms want agility, faster execution, a smoother user experience, and to get the job done in a much easier and more effective way. They don't want to add headcount just for the sake of it. So they want to keep being small and agile. So we offer that as well. On the other front, larger enterprises need a tougher security framework, permission-based systems, and rich functionalities and rich reporting. Through the years, because our system has been in the market for so long, we have accumulated lots of functionalities on that front as well. So I believe we're uniquely positioned to cover, the small to medium segment of the market as well.
Is it a one size, one software fits all, or is it scalable, modular,
Hmm.
and each company can pick and choose
Yes.
what to get?
Um, the system's modular, and it has several different modules. And the true power of the system is the customization layer that it offers. So you can adapt it and change it according to your needs. So you can create, let's say, custom fields or custom workflows or custom types of projects or services that you offer, and monitor the things that matter for your firm. So I think this makes it very unique. And what's important is that we allow the firms themselves to do that on a daily basis, and they don't have to come back to us for customizations and all this kind of stuff. We have incorporated all the customizations needed inside the system, to allow them to adapt it as they see fit.
I feel like no matter what company I have in front of me, this question comes up, but AI is becoming unavoidable, and I'm interested to hear your opinion about how AI is affecting the legal, the accounting, the compliance sectors, and how it is potentially um, incorporated into Zygos
Yeah,
software.
yeah, okay. Um, Complex questions. I will try
We can break it down.
yes, I will try to break it down into different parts. I'll break down my answer. So, um, the AI, the new era of AI, because AI has been around for many, many years. The new era of I believe, is the single transformational power at the moment globally, especially for the professional services sector, for accountants, for lawyers. They are under huge pressure of changing their business model. Firms in smaller jurisdictions like Cyprus, like Switzerland, like the Channel Islands, they don't feel it yet. But in larger jurisdictions where innovation is deeply rooted in the culture of those firms, they feel it, and they have started embracing that technology. So we can some go as far as to say that entry level white collar jobs are going to be eliminated very soon, because the tedious work that you had to do in the past as a lawyer, as an entry level, as a junior accountant, now can be automated. So this can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on who's the perspective that you see it. But it will certainly change the way value is delivered from law firms, from accountants to their clients. So that's one thing. And firms have to be prepared for that. We can elaborate more later on. So on the other front, it's challenging for software houses as well, such as ourselves, because there is two ways we have to incorporate that in our culture, incorporate it in our cultures. So first, AI, as you may know, writes excellent code. So the majority of our code base now is automatically being written by AI. So we had to change our culture internally to be able to incorporate it. And then the second challenge for software houses is how you can incorporate AI into your products in order to be transformed from what's called a system of record to a system offering actions to the users. So yeah, it's a complicated time we're living.
I know, but it's very interesting. Do you use mostly generative AI,
Hmm.
or do you explore the possibility of having AI agents
Hmm.
in the software performing certain tasks?
Exactly. Yeah. AI agents is the future. So that's what we are incorporating in our system as well. We've started with three main agents, which are very specific to certain domains that law firms, accountants, CSPs do on a daily basis. So we cover onboarding, research, and productivity. Uh, and I think agents will be the workforce of the future. That's not my, something that is something that gets discussed a lot abroad. And I believe that the lawyer of the future and the accountant of the future will be someone who will orchestrate and monitor lots of agents rather than doing the actual work. I'm pretty confident about that. I see it daily in our business as well. Our development team, our R&D team are doing just that now. Very rarely do they write code by hand rather than reviewing what AI has
Yeah,
provided
we've
for
all
them.
become editors now, yes.
Yes, exactly. So this will be a huge change and will be a huge cultural change for the professional services sector as well.
Considering that legal accounting, they're very sensitive sectors
Yep.
and high risk in terms of accuracy. Do you think there are any a risk associated with adopting AI too quickly or too late? And where do you
Huge.
see Cyprus being in that, like early or late or?
Okay. Um, there are huge risks with adopting AI. And the first and foremost is your data not being ready for that. So AI is as good as the data that it gets. So if you haven't prepared your firm the past decade, or I mean, if you hadn't had a data policy, I mean, not a data privacy policy, rather than a data management policy and a data architecture policy as a firm, as a law firm or an accountancy, you will find yourself being left behind at the moment, or at least it will take more time for you to catch up, because you have to solve the data problem first and then implement AI. And then there's all sorts of risks, technical and security risks. AI has hallucinations. It can come up with stuff that don't exist. Then there's security risks. Very recently, McKinsey introduced an AI agent to support its workforce, and that agent was hacked, and it provided all the chats and the database that it held internally. So even for large, huge enterprises such as McKinsey, there are implementation risks as well. But as with every new trend or technological trend, these risks, you have to prepare yourselves and immerse yourself into them and how you can tackle them rather than facing away, because those things are coming. Now, you asked about Cyprus. Well, certain things on the AI front, certain things are coming, and we have implemented policies, created committees. But I think the main problem for Cyprus at the moment is the inefficiency of the government and the governmental sector regarding the digital transformation of the government, which has been left very, very behind. So we will have to face that very, very soon.
Because it starts, what you're saying or what I'm hearing is that the government and the private sector need to collaborate better in order to bring digital transformation to Cyprus in a
Yes.
more efficient way. And I know that the government, at least lately, they're doing a lot of work on that, and they collaborate with a lot of tech companies, and they have the digital transformation plan, and but you're saying that they're still not really
Yes.
catching
So
up.
I think there's two ways you can look at what the government is doing regarding technology and the digital transformation front. So, on the one front, as a policy of attracting new companies, creating an ecosystem here, and attracting VCs and incubators and this kind of stuff. So, I think we're doing great on that front. And the recent track record of companies flowing in and proves that. On the other front, the digital transformation of the public sector has been left behind, and this has to change immediately. Large, we're talking about the justice sector or the law firms. Large projects such as e-justice and those transformational projects, which will change the way the public and the private sector interacts with the government have been left behind. So the government has to immediately change route on that and push those projects forward, because we will then build on them and extract the data from them to leverage AI. So I think that's the way to go.
What's your opinion on the regulatory framework? I know that in the European Union and in Cyprus, we have a tremendous amount of regulations regarding AI and sensitive sectors compared to other countries like the US or China that might be more, innovation friendly. Do you see that as a positive thing to have regulations, or do you see it as a thing that, holds back innovation?
Yeah. Um, I would say I'm pro regulation, especially in such areas such as AI. But in Europe, we are overdoing it sometimes. Lots of regulations coming out, and most of them have overlapping aspects and some sections. So in the last years alone, I can think of, there's been GDPR, of course, then you had NIS 2, then you had the AI Act. So it's a lot of stuff for an economy that's based, the European economy that's based in the SME. And the SMEs don't have dedicated regulatory monitoring departments and all this kind of stuff. So it's a good time for lawyers because they can sell their services around those. But for SMEs, is getting a bit out of hand. On the other front, I get it, because AI is a transformational, is a generational power, which, if it's not regulated, it can be used from bad actors for many things. So I see there has to be, the best of both worlds.
The yin and yang of regulation.
Yes, yes. I don't know how this can be done, but I'm no politician.
So I'm gonna change the subject a little bit. I'm gonna talk about Zygos as a family business.
Okay.
And I want to know a little bit your path. When did you choose to work in the family business? Are there any challenges working in a family business?
So Zygos is indeed a family business. And fun fact, my mom and dad are both coders. So I guess it was a one-way street for me to deal with technology. My initial intuition was not to, come back to Cyprus. I studied abroad, and I had some aspirations of staying abroad and this kind of stuff. But then I said, why not? Let's go back, and we have a technology company there. Let's go out and make it better. So it was 15 years ago that I did that, and fast forward to today, it was the best decision of my life doing that, because I do what I love, and it's kind of a lifestyle thing for me. It's not really my work; it's my life, and I think if you are in a family business, you have that, moral obligation to make it better, and you don't do it out of obligation, but you do it out of passion, because since you are so attached to what you do, you transfer the family's culture into the company's culture, and I think that has been my way about going about the family business. Yeah.
But talking about legacy and feeling the weight of the older generation, did it ever become an obstacle in your ideas for innovation?
Yeah, I think I don't really care about legacy. Or didn't have I cared about it when I joined the business. Of course, working with your parents is always a challenge, and because they're your parents, but then you have many disagreements on the business front, then you have many agreements on that, you have your ups and downs. So it's a challenge for everyone, and for them as well. So for everyone joining a family business now, I would say, take your time. allow some more space, and allow some more time. You may think that you know stuff better than your than your parents or the family business, but they have done some things as well. So you have to allow some space. And I think legacy doesn't have to be a burden to anyone. I think, and you don't have to work about the legacy, but you have to work, to make the world a better place. And legacy will come as an indirect benefit after that. So yeah.
Can you pinpoint a couple of things, one or two things that uh, you contributed in either the culture of the company or the actual product that were not there before you took over?
Lots of things were not there when I took over. The company grew a lot in the last 15 years. So we even changed our office, I mean, the premises that we operate from. And I think the most important aspect when joining the family business was changing the direction that we were going and focusing more on our niche. We had law firms, accountants as clients, but we served other verticals as well. So we decided that we have to stop serving those other verticals. They're not profitable, they're not generating profit, and we have to focus on our niche and work our way to become the number one player in Cyprus in that niche. Fast forward to today, we have achieved that. Looking back then, it was a naive decision. It was it was based primarily on gut and intuition. And we were leaving money on the table because we were saying to clients that we cannot serve you anymore. We will focus on that, on lawyers, accountants, and CSPs. But it proved out to be the best decision that we've made and allow us to be in the position that we are today.
You see, to me, that's very impressive because in a market where everybody's trying to get more clients and more money and sell whatever product they have, just so they can end the year with a profit or high revenues, you chose to say, I want to get the best product. I want to have the best product that serves this market. And you trusted that if you had the best product, people would choose you over other competitors. Um, and I think that approach it's becoming more and more rare. People focusing on their product instead of the sales.
Mhm.
So if you could give us a little bit of insight as to, what was this gut feeling that told you, turn away from clients and
Yeah,
focus on the product, focus
yeah.
on your niche.
So let me frame this in two ways. So I think in the past, it made lots of sense to expand horizontally rather than vertically, so cover other niches as well. Because in the past, expanding overseas out of Cyprus was not so obvious as it is today and was not so easy as it is today. So when you reach a certain point in a certain niche of certain market share, let's say percentage, you had to somehow keep growing. Uh, Expanding overseas was kind of difficult. 20 or 30 years ago. So you had to expand to a nearby vertical. Now, in the era that we live in now, it has become, the world is your oyster. You can go in a plane and in 2 hours be in Malta, in 4 hours be in the UAE, in Greece, and expand your business there through partnerships, through reselling, through this kind of stuff. So focusing on becoming good in a niche, I think gives you the ability to then adapt accordingly and expand, keep expanding overseas when you reach a certain market share, let's say in Cyprus. And so this is the one front. The other front is that in the software business, you have to have a good product. It's a business that you cannot sell BS. You have to have a good product and you have to solve real problems. So in order to do that, you have to have a good product. So that's why we focused on that. This comes as a part of my background, I guess, as well, because I'm an engineer by studies. So I cannot, I cannot escape that. So focusing on the product was really a great decision, and I think that's what our clients appreciate as well.
This is a good segue, because I assume that a software product is something that changes a lot. It's something that, before you know it, there's something new, there's something better. Which leads me to the new version that you're launching of Zygos sometime in June, I think June 9th.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and
Yep.
what should we
Yep.
expect in this version that were not in the previous versions?
Sure. Sure. So it's true what you said, that a software product changes a lot. And it's even worse, let's say, in the niche that we are serving, because lawyers, accountants, regulated environments have so many changes in regulation and around the things they must do on a daily basis. So it's even more challenging keeping up with those kind of stuff, let alone the technical aspect of it. And another point is that since our solution is hosted, is in the cloud, we manage all the infrastructure for our clients as well. So we have security teams, we have DevOps teams and this kind of stuff, getting the work done. So we remove another burden from our clients. So it's there's a lot of things going on. You asked about something that I'm very excited about, the new version of our system. So this has been maybe 2 years in the making now. It's a huge investment for us. Now, the version that we have out now in the market has been in the market for 10 years, and has allowed us to become the preferred vendor for the professional services industry in Cyprus. Now, this version has, although it's in the cloud, a modern software, it has become clunky over time, and it has accumulated too many functionalities because of the feedback and all this kind of stuff. So we thought we needed a change. And on top of that, we have to find a way to embed AI into the system. So in order to do that, we needed a fresh start, a new foundation to build upon. So we're changing everything. We said, why not? Let's throw that building down and rebuild it. So we did that from scratch. We've introduced a new design system, and we have changed a lot the look and feel and the user experience, which is the utmost important thing in a software. And we are embedding new features and functionalities. I'm not going to share much, but we are very, very excited for what's about to come. And the 9th of June is going to be a milestone for our company and for the professional services industry in Cyprus, to be honest.
Do your existing clients get the update, or do
Yep.
they can choose to stay in the old version?
No, we will be sunsetting the current version. It's going to take some time because we have lots of clients and we have to, migrate everyone. But
Explain them how the new
yep,
train
go
them.
through training, and above all, it's a cultural change when you
Yeah.
change systems and software. So
We see it with social media, they change a feature and it takes
exactly,
you a month
exactly,
to get over it.
exactly. So imagine if you have a system, you just log in every day and it suddenly changes. So it will take some time, but we're sunsetting the current version. We're introducing the new one, so it's going to be a great time.
Excellent. So in the next, I was gonna say 3 to 5, but let's say 5 to 10 years, where
Oh,
do you see Zygos heading?
5 to 10, huh? That's
Well,
that.
because you said that it took you 10 years with one version, I'm thinking maybe this version will last for another 5 or 6 years.
Hopefully, it will last for 5.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't have AI back then. Now everything is accelerating, and new updates coming out of the big AI labs are 2 years ago seemed like century ago. The changes in technology are tremendous. So I would say we have two main fronts regarding the future of Zygos. Of course, the one is to create a great new product, enhance the new version with lots of functionalities, and make it a great product. And the other one is keep expanding overseas. We at the moment we have clients in, of course, in Cyprus, in Greece, in Malta, in Switzerland, in the UAE. So we want to expand that as well, and um, keep enforcing our position overseas, which is very important for us. And this has only been, a couple of years that we do that. It's been hard, but it's the only way to keep growing. So I think in 5 years, what we will be doing is be having a great product and have established our market position in another 3 or 4 jurisdictions, definitely.
And as an adjacent professional of the accounting, legal, and compliance industries, do you have any advice on firms on how to stay competitive in this new landscape?
Yeah, I mean, it all has to do with AI now. Embrace AI and start reskilling and upskilling your workforce. Your current workforce, if you want them to stay relevant, you have to provide them with the tools to be able to cope in this new era. And because this will be a competitive advantage for your firm anyway. So if you don't do that, you will be outlasted. You will be left behind as a firm. So reskilling and upskilling is very important internally for firms. And then embrace new ways of providing value to the client. A big discussion now overseas is about the billing model for the professional services industry, and how the billable hour now it's changing and it's becoming obsolete. So reinventing and keep adapting to these new trends, because these are here to stay. It's no hype.
Thank you for that. Nicole, do you have any closing remarks? Anything that you want to cover that we didn't cover in this conversation?
Oh, it was. Are we done already? So it was great. Thank you for everything. I think what as a closing remark, I want to emphasize on what I said just before. Professional services firms have been, sitting on old kingdoms of glory and good old days, and the way business was done before. I think AI is a huge democratizing power, and it will change the way those services are delivered. And those firms that adapt to it much faster will have a competitive advantage. We have lots of ground to cover in Cyprus, and in similar smaller jurisdictions. There's lots of ground to cover, but it's the only way forward, and our strategy should be around that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for talking to
Thank you
me.
very much.
Thank you for talking to Fast Forward. And thank you for watching. You can follow and subscribe our YouTube channel and keep reading your news on fastforward.com.cy.